About. We'll get right into it. So here we are again. This is the Bodybuilding Unleashed podcast. We have a couple of furry guests today. Ifbb Pro Stephanie Santamaria, special guest Ifbb Pro Elizabeth Moline.
Are we
I'm
the furry ones?
I'm your host, Chris Santamaria. Welcome to the show, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we got a lot to chat about. We'll dive right in. First off, I want to ask you, what do you think of all like the Sarah Natalia stuff? Like what's your honest, you being, in female bodybuilding, like what's your take? Where do you stand?
Okay. I think I think like you look at men's open bodybuilding and there's always this like friction between a few competitors, right? And then it draws people into the show. It draws people into the like drama that's happening.
Oh yeah.
And I think Sarah, from what I have seen, like Sarah's a great ambassador of the sport and she wants to see it grow. Clearly,
Mhm.
she wants to see it grow. I think it's the two of them bringing attention to their division. That's my opinion. Is that it's like maybe there is the rivalry there, but I think they're like playing into it because look at how many people are talking about women's physique. It's like, and if that's not, I don't know. I think that maybe there's like a fraction of truth, but like behind their rivalry. But I think that it's also bringing a lot of attention to the division.
Okay, really? So you don't think it's an actual rivalry? You think it's more of kind of like WWE? What do you think?
Oh, I think that yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to say because
Yeah.
like I've never competed with these women. I don't know these women, but just like from what I have seen from the one show that I've done, the one pro show that I've done, and from like the other pros that I know, I don't think amongst the women I haven't seen that kind of like hatred.
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, you're right. There's no question about it. Like it's definitely drawing people in. Even people
Yeah,
that probably didn't have like a real interest in it, they're still kind of being drawn into it. So,
yeah.
yeah, I just
I think it's strategic. I think that's
yeah,
the word I'm looking for. I think it's strategic.
okay. Now, I mean, we won't spend a ton of time on it because we did a little bit on the last podcast, but just briefly, like, what's your take as far as just like an overview? Like, do you think, is it cheating if allegedly Natalia is, doing this PMMA site stuff, or where do you kind of see, like, where do you draw the line?
Oh, I mean, cheating. I think we're all cheating a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, it's but that's the thing. It's like where do you draw the line, right?
Mhm.
Like with all of the supplements and peptides and different things. But for me, like I think of wellness and like whatever they're doing to their glutes to get their glutes as big as possible, right? Like that's where it kind of first was introduced, I think,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
or
Because
like for
before,
me anyway, where like I you know heard about it, right? Or
Mhm.
heard about competitors doing this. Um, yeah, and it's like that is a really good question of where do you draw the line? I would never do it personally, but
Yeah,
that's
Mhm.
that's tough because I mean you're in a division where people are taking a whole lot of supplements to look a certain way.
right, right.
Yeah, because I think it was put out today or yesterday where Sarah was saying, I'm in a muscle building contest, not a filling, a
Hmm.
a
Right.
filling contest, which
Yeah.
to me is valid in a sense. Like a lot of people use PEDs to help grow muscle, but they're not just putting a filler in that's not actual muscle.
Yeah, I
So it's
agree.
Yeah, because it's like if what would be the point? It's like why would anyone need to work out unless they really like enjoyed it, which of course all of us do. But
Right.
there could be someone just with money and just be like, "All right, do my whole body. I'm in." You know what I
But
mean? Like
okay, do you think that if somebody actually did that, do you think that if somebody had just average gym goer, works out like 3 times a week, but wants to look absolutely yoked, do you think if they went and they filled themselves up with a bunch of oil, what do you think they would actually look like?
I mean, I don't think they would be in the top 10. Let's put it, you know,
So it kind of comes back to like, oh, you think steroids, you're cheating.
Mhm.
Well, actually, I work really hard in the gym. I eat every single one of my meals. I prioritize this lifestyle, and yes, I'm also enhanced.
yeah. And
But
those steroids,
I'm cheating, or
those are already within our bodies.
A lot.
right,
So
right. That's true.
you-
That's
you're
true.
you're not putting in something that's like a filler, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
And if you took those without working out, they're going to do virtually nothing.
Right. Yeah, that is true. Oof.
Yeah,
Oh, that's tough. I'd say
stuff.
no then. Like with those points, yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say
I
no.
can't see it personally when it's like if you're just adding stuff that's like essentially fake, like
Mhm.
that's not bodybuilding, like Stephanie was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
You know,
if you're a wellness and you're getting an ass implant, to me, that's a total cheat.
yep.
I know girls get breast implants, but technically we're not being judged on that. That's not the muscle that's being judged.
right.
Does it create a certain aesthetic for a female? Sure. But it's at the end of the day, it's not what's being judged. Like who has the better breasts?
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
It's
Yeah.
tough because like we were having this conversation offline and like I don't know because they have the criteria, of course. You can go to the IFBB or NPC website and check the criteria for each division, right? But
Yeah.
then it's like, how many people do all of us know personally that have had the conversation, clients, friends, associates, where they're like, oh, I'm going to get a breast augmentation because the judges said this. But then it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have any issue with, breast augmentation for women. But then it's like, why can't a top female win if they're, like an A cup? Like,
Well, they
you know,
can.
you know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah.
it's few and far between,
Yeah.
you
Because
know?
In
Sarah,
bikini, maybe not, but like
yeah.
Sarah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah
Yeah.
doesn't have implants.
Yeah. I'm talking like bikini. I guess I should have
Yeah,
specified.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The certain divisions and the certain look. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. An interesting topic for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, what direction is the sport going to go in? Right? Like, where do you draw the line? There definitely needs to be a line drawn.
Yep.
Hmm.
That's not
Yeah.
acceptable.
But I do agree. I think Sarah is like a great advocate for her division. She
Hmm.
likes to bring attention to it. She puts money towards it every
Yeah,
year.
right,
Absolutely. I mean, when you put your own money, like it's hard to argue with that,
Mhm.
right.
for prize
But
division.
maybe she sees Natalia just like not wearing the title well. Maybe she's like is disappointed in how Natalia is representing the division, representing the sport.
Yeah.
I
If
can see that for
if
sure.
she really did do the PMMA. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. But nonetheless, it's bringing attention to women's physique division. So
Speaking of divisions, do you think, I mean, a lot of the talk too is like even lately too of, should there be a 212 and all this stuff? Should there be classic, and I have my own views. I've shared them a few times, but let's take let's take the female division. Do you think there should be a women's physique, or do you think it should just be women's bodybuilding like 20 years ago? Or what do you think?
That's a good question. I think there should be a women's physique. I like that there's a women's physique.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I was like me personally. I've tried fitting in women's physique really hard. I'm not women's physique. I'm blocky. I'm women's bodybuilding, right? But I like how judging has been going for women's physique versus women's bodybuilding. They're choosing physiques for women's physique division that have the tighter taper, that have that
Mhm.
mm, like tighter kind of look, I guess, and or like the tight waist, the like you don't have to be insanely jacked for women's physique. You do and you
Mhm.
don't, right? Like, who's that athlete I'm thinking of? She guest posed at TCO. Um,
Yeah,
Oh, Rachel
I'm
Daniels.
drawing. No, not Rachel
no,
Daniels.
it's not her.
Um,
I know who you're talking about.
her name starts with an S.
Is it
Shaya?
Sharika?
Yes, that's
That's
who
it.
I'm thinking of. Like
Jackson, I
that.
think.
Yeah, like that's the
Yeah.
women's physique competitor that I think of. Like her package, is she the biggest competitor? No. Does she fit that division super well? Yes. And so I think the distinction between the two, I like it. I like that it's there. Um, but uh, on the flip side of that, on the flip side of that, it would be nice to have more competitors in open bodybuilding. You know, it would be
Yeah,
nice to just have like more volume of competitors. You see some shows and it's like, oh, cool, three competitors.
right.
Lame,
I think
lame.
part of that is some women don't want to, because it takes time. I was telling you the other day, I loved watching your progression, like, because we've known you for a while. So, and not every female has what it takes to train the way you do or the way these other women's bodybuilders do. Um, I think that I train harder than a lot of women, and I can't even touch the women's bodybuilders training. So I think kind of like also it probably happens with the men too, like with, like, oh, here's classic physique. I don't have to train as long and as hard to get to open bodybuilding. I think that's part of it is like the progression of what it takes to get to those divisions. And people just kind of are like, oh, okay, I'm good now.
Yeah, that's so true. Where in reality, it's like, me personally, I think those divisions are like in place as a stepping stone or like a stepping block.
Yeah.
It's like you should always work to be bigger. You should always work to be better. And, like maybe your physique just fits that division better, right? But
Mhm.
like, I could never imagine having the thought process of like, oh, I'm good. Like, it's good enough. Like, how many bodybuilders actually have the thought process of like, good enough, we'll
Yeah.
stop there?
Well, we hear of some women who want to stay in, like, say they want to stay in bikini and they're like, we've had a friend like, oh, I can't train back because it'll grow. Or,
Right.
like I can only train a couple days here and there and, I can't go heavy on anything. And to me, the idea of pulling back your training is odd.
Yeah. I really liked when Sandy was here for a posing seminar. I don't remember when it was, last year sometime. Sandy was here, and what she said during the Q&A was when women come up to her and ask her, what division do you think I should be in? She asks them, how do you like to train?
Hmm.
Mm.
Because like you can't say you want to be wellness and be like, oh, I only like to train legs a couple times though. Like
Yeah.
no, you're gonna have to love leg day if you're choosing wellness or like I really want to be woman's bodybuilder. Okay, well you're really gonna have to push it and go to like some uncomfortable places
Yeah.
and train when you're still sore and like really push yourself. But that's how I love to train. And that's how I like that was another thing that pushed me towards women's bodybuilding is it's like I love to train like an open bodybuilder, you know? So and I mean like Stephanie, you love back, right? So
Yeah.
I think like that's part of choosing your division as well. You know, like maybe the bikini athletes are okay or, you know, enjoy that style of exercise. And I think at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, like my coach has heavy deadlifts in my programming, not because he wants me doing heavy deadlifts for any particular reason other than the fact that I like them. He's
Yeah.
like, you're as long as they're RDLs, you're engaging your hamstring, fine. Have your deadlifts. He was like, you like deadlift day? All right, that's cool. You know, like at a to a certain degree, yes, you need to cater to your physique, but at a certain degree, like I think you should still really enjoy your programming and pick something that because like no one's from most of the world, no one's paying you to go into the gym, right? Like
Right.
something we choose to do because we love it. Yeah, but I don't even remember what the question was. Sorry, went off on a tangent.
I think you'll like this. We actually had a conversation yesterday. We always have this conversation. So I'll have a client, it could be an older client, could be a newer client, and they want to switch divisions, right? We do attract a lot of figure divisions, obviously, because we have Stephanie, we have multiple, IFBB Pro figure winners on the team, and the I'll bring it up to Stephanie, like, what do you think? Like, what's your honest take? Like, can this client, can we get from bikini to figure? And she's like, do they train like Elizabeth? And I'm like, and she's like, no, then no.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that's you've set the standard.
Oh my gosh.
Do they
Bless
train
you.
like Elizabeth? Yes or no?
See, and like I'm the most ridiculous because I'm like, God, did I train hard enough today? I like get in my car. I'm like, oh, I feel like I just had like two more reps on that one set, or you know, like the things that
Yeah.
keep me up at night. It's just so ridiculous.
It's funny
We're
when
all,
you watch like your clips back too, because we all do it, and if you're not, I tell clients you should be doing it.
yeah,
So shout out to the clients. You're slacking on videos because we'll do a set and it's like at that moment, that's it. That's all I had. But then when you watch back, I'm like,
yeah,
I had three reps left. Like, what the hell?
Mhm.
yep. So I actually have a client in Rochester, and we're messaging back and forth about his training, and he's like, yeah, I'm kind of stalled out, and I was like, I want you to send me all of your top sets from this week,
Yes.
and I was like, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, you are not training hard enough. You
Yep.
know, I have him doing rest pause sets, and he
Yeah.
gets done with his rest pause sets, and he's like, ho hum. I'm like, no, I want to see you like crawling around on the floor because your legs are just about to fall off after a rest pause set. He's like, oh, okay. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It's so key to, I mean, there's so many clients, I'm not going to name names, but it's just like it's for our own benefit, right?
yeah,
It's only going to benefit you because then that next set when I go to leg day and I'm on the press or the squat or whatever, in your mind, oh no, like no, I actually have two more here
yeah.
because the video last week proved it.
Yep, absolutely. I actually videoed my deadlifts yesterday, and as I'm going through the set, I'm like, oh yeah, controlled eccentrics. This is great. This is great. And I watch the video, and I look like I'm doing an AMRAP CrossFit workout. I'm like, oh, okay, so I need to tighten that up.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that videoing yourself there are so many benefits to it. Like, how is your form? Flat pull downs, you can think that you're not using a ton of momentum, and think that you're loading correctly through your lats, and then you watch the video and it's like, whoa, I'm actually leaning back. I'm actually like swinging my last 6 reps. There's a lot that you can see when you video yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, before we do have a lot of good questions that we got in, but briefly, let's jump back kind of to the beginning. I'm sure you've probably told your story on some podcast or another, but
Yeah.
What initially, like obviously you have a lifting background, like were you an athlete or what kind of brought you to the weight room?
Yeah. So grew up playing hockey, played to my senior year, and didn't take it past high school.
Hmm.
Um, and I needed something. So I started running, did some half marathons, just to have something to do. And I had a friend that was like, try CrossFit. I think you'd like it. I drank the Kool-Aid super hard, fell in love with it. Um, and then after a while realized like, okay, I like the weightlifting portion of CrossFit way more than I actually like CrossFit. So
Hmm.
then I did competitive weightlifting. I had a partial tear in my patellar tendon. I couldn't do the heavy lifts that I was doing every single day. It's like Olympic weightlifting program. You're doing a lot of the same lifts over and over and over, and so I
Hmm.
just needed different programming. I needed a change. So then I had a friend who was at the time starting Don Meadows' program. I
Yeah.
don't remember which one it was, but it was so good. I love that program. But, he was like, let's train together, do this program with me. And it was like history from there. I think we did 2 workouts together, and somebody said something like, you know, you should try competing in bodybuilding. I think you'd be good at it. And it was like game over. I
Hmm.
was
That's
sold.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was 2019, and then 2020 was my first go. So I did everything. I like to tell people like, start with an off season.
Hmm.
Get like find a good coach, find a coach you like, and give them an off season so you
Yeah.
can get the lifestyle down. You can get the track, the meal plan, the training, the cardio, like get everything set so that you're successful in your prep. I did not do that. I did bodybuilding for like a minute, and then I was like, all right, first go, let's go. Yeah, but I've
Yeah,
been hooked ever since.
clearly. Yeah. It's funny though, because like I can't say we'll get a lot of clients, but like I would say at least 10% of the clients we get on a yearly basis, they come to us with a big goal. I'm not saying everyone has like the IFBB Pro goal,
Mm,
but a lot of times we'll have to tell people like, let's get through a prep to just to see if you even like it.
yeah,
And what I mean by the like it is like, can you handle when things are tough? You know?
right, right. Yeah, and I mean, like it all comes back to no one's paying you to do this. Like
Right.
you're choosing to do this, so you're choosing to do this. I think this last prep was the best prep that I have had. Not that I've done a ton of preps, but I'm up to I don't know, like 4-ish, 5, something like that. And I carried this thought process through my whole prep of like I am so grateful that I get to do this. Like I feel so lucky because honestly, like there were a few times like in prep where I couldn't afford it, but I
Hmm.
still did it anyways. It was kind of miserable, right? So I'm like the fact that I can afford to do this prep right now, the fact that like I have something that I'm so passionate about, like that carries you through the tough days. That carried me
Oh
through the
yeah.
tough days. I would get done with a cardio session. I'm like, praise God. Like I'm so grateful that I got through this day. We checked off all the boxes. So like I'm happy with that. But when I first started, it was kind of more of a victim mindset. I'm so hungry. I'm so tired, and it's that's not the way to go. That's not the thought process. But there are a lot of competitors where it's like, man, if you dislike it that much, why are you doing it?
Hmm.
100%. Yeah.
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 And like there are some people that try it and they, maybe see it to the stage or don't, but they have that mindset the whole time of like, this is really miserable. That's okay if it's not for you. You can still live the bodybuilding lifestyle. You can still do the diet, still do the hit the gym the same way and have an amazing physique. and just, not get stage ready.
Yeah. You've probably seen it too, or maybe you've known people on the circuit and everything, but like it's always unfortunate like when you talk to a competitor or you know someone that they feel pressured to compete because like that's like their only persona. And they don't like it. Like just like what you were saying, but it's like, oh, I'm in prep again. Here we go. And it's all negative. It's like the dark cloud. But then it's like you said, why are you doing it then?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, absolutely. And that's actually something that I'm working on in my off season is in this like, you know, deep therapy talk. What is your identity rooted in? Because
Mhm.
like I don't want my entire identity to be rooted in bodybuilding,
Mhm.
right? Like as much as it is, as much as I love it and as much as it means to me, what if it were taken away tomorrow?
Right.
Then what? What are you left with? And I mean, like you can work in there, like treating people well, even when you're in prep. When you're miserable and like you're super hungry, you're super tired, you don't want to go to the family event, you don't want to show up for that person. But like, what happens if bodybuilding's not there?
Mhm.
Like what else is your identity tied into? So yeah, it's interesting that you say that because it's like having your identity solely tied into this sport can be very dangerous.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love that. It's so key too. And like we've known people along the way to where, just like you said, it did get taken away, whether it's a permanent thing or like a temporary thing that they have to kind of get through or navigate. And we all go through injuries and stuff like that. But it's like you said, of kind of branching out your horizons, getting other hobbies, other things that you may or may, not like to do because it can get taken away.
Mhm.
Bad luck can happen, anything can happen. And then it's like, what now? And it's unfortunate too, because I've known some people along the way where it did get taken away, but they thought it would kind of change our friendship. And it's like, no, that's not why I care about you. It has nothing to do with bodybuilding. It's
Right,
who you are
exactly.
as a person.
Hmm.
It's not what you've done in the gym or on stage.
Right, right. Like the community that you build up around yourself from this sport, like the people in my corner, I know they're not going to bail on me if all of a sudden I can't compete anymore.
Hmm.
Right.
I'm still going to hear from them, still going to see them.
Yeah.
Will it be in the gym 5 times a week or no like whatever it is. Like I think of Karen and Sandra and like just friends that I've made along the way where it's like they reach out to me to see how I'm doing in life.
Yep.
Not like, hey, how are your lifts going this week? No, it's
Yeah.
like, how are you doing?
Yeah. That's so key to have, because it's like, those are your people. It's not, of course, everyone loves the gym talk, but like you said, it's just a fraction of it.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I feel like should I turn my light on? But
Oh, there we go.
sorry,
No.
from the car because of the snowstorm.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive in a little bit for the pro debut. Like, tell us, obviously, clearly, I think just not even without talking, it was a great prep. But tell us leading up to it, like, how were you feeling? Were you nervous? Did you exceed your expectations? Or
I will say like the experience exceeded my expectations. The experience definitely exceeded my expectations. The only thing that would have made it better would be winning, obviously.
yeah,
Just qualifying for the Olympia, my pro debut. And
right?
like dreamt about that every day, but
Yeah.
super realistic. No, it was a really good prep. Stephanie, your face. You're like, whoa. Um, no, prep was super smooth. Or just like the best that any of my preps have gone. And I think that was me going into it with no expectations.
Hmm.
I was like, what? I don't know who's gonna show up. I don't know who's gonna be there. All I know is that I'm gonna bring my absolute best. Like I'm gonna do everything in my power to bring my absolute best, and I'm gonna be happy with whatever happens from there. And actually, I think back to junior nationals, 21
Hmm.
in Chattanooga. I think I seventh out of eight, and at the time, I was so bitter that I did that bad because I was going into it like I'm getting my pro card. I like I'm so good. Like whatever. I didn't know. I didn't know. And looking back on it, I'm like, that's the most I have ever learned. I think like from as far as like a mindset
Hmm.
perspective, going into it thinking I had it and getting seventh out of eight, and I was bitter afterwards. It was just a very good learning experience. And looking back, it's like, okay, that's not how I want to carry myself. Like I want to go into it knowing I'm bringing my absolute best. And even if I get seventh out of eight, I'm going to learn from it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like that's a great learning opportunity. And honestly, character building, right? Like, I think this is going to sound terrible. I think everybody should experience a placing like that because then you go back to the drawing board and it's like, all right, where do we go from here? How do we not do that again? What do we need to do to be different? And for me, in that situation, what needed to be different was my mindset.
Hmm.
Like for sure, I had the wrong mindset going into it, had the wrong mindset afterwards. So for me, this prep, and this is something that I worked with Tim with a lot as well. Like Tim will tell you that my my thought process is what holds me back a lot of the time.
Hmm.
And so going into this prep, I spent a lot of off season kind of working through that. And going into this prep, it was I'm gonna stay in the mindset of gratitude and just not compare myself, not get caught up in like less than, greater than, just who's showing up. I'm just gonna show up with my best and have a good time.
Hmm.
And so it made the show weekend just awesome.
Man, that's great. That's so great. And that's so key too. Like I love kind of you going through like the learning process because, we have to tell clients every year that you're in a messed up sport. It's subjective.
Mhm.
Someone could literally be at the judging table and they could just literally be sick of watching bodies and just like for the next half hour just not care. I don't really care. Elizabeth Moline, don't care. It
Yeah.
just mark,
So
mark,
crazy.
mark. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's just
Mhm.
like at the end of the day, in a subjective sport, which obviously there's nothing like bodybuilding, anything can happen. And as long as you show up your best, as long as you learn, like you were saying, that's all you can really do, you know, because we see it all the time where people like, they get in their best shape ever, which that's a huge feat in itself. But
Mhm.
then they try to translate it into I am in my best shape ever, which means I deserve to win. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you
Yeah.
think, well, I'm my best shape ever, so I should win. But then
Mhm.
it's like if someone is better that day, then it's just not going to happen.
Right. Yeah. And at that, what's funny is like in 2021, I thought I was deserving of a win, and then looking back, I'm like, I didn't practice my posing. Like I had downtime. I was on my butt on the couch. I wasn't, like I didn't put any real time into like stage presence and posing. It's the million little things that I didn't do when I thought I deserved a pro card. So looking back, like I wasn't even close to deserving a pro card at that time, right? And so it's like being very honest with yourself as well, right? And then the other piece of like you can't control who else is showing up or what the judges are going to think of their physique versus your physique, you know.
Yep.
Right.
So
To
yeah, it's
be
very
fair,
subjective.
to be fair though, you were overlooked. I mean,
I was that's that was the most conditioned I've ever been in my life.
it was such a good look. I mean,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you
but
just never know in a subjective, like
also a good learning experience.
I think every show, every prep, you learn something.
yeah.
I think like a huge takeaway for me from that show was the stage presence and the posing piece because I didn't practice that much. Like posing, yes, but also just like being on a national stage for the first time. You know,
Yeah.
those nerves. And I knew I was gonna have those nerves with the pro debut too. I was like, we're just gonna breathe through them. Just gonna try and be as calm as possible. Like trying to remain as calm as possible as I'm standing next to Ashley Jones on stage. Like, she's the best poser I've ever seen. Like, oh my gosh.
So good. Yeah.
Geez.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a strange feeling. Because when I did my pro debut too, I was on stage with some of my like idols. And I was like, and I've stood next to Jessica Padilla and I've stood next
Yeah.
to, I even though everyone talks about Missy, this was like her figure debut year. Like, no,
It wasn't.
back in 2019, she did a figure show. And, I was on stage with her there too. And then Natalia Soltero, Wendy Fortino, I used to love. And it's this crazy, like, where you feel like, oh my God, I know I'm getting beat, but how lucky am I to be on stage with my
Yeah.
idols?
Right. Right. The Yeah, it's so cool to be like, oh, well, I just, watch you while I do my cardio on
Yeah.
YouTube because you're my inspiration. But, yeah, let's go stand on stage together.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of good questions. We'll jump right in. What is one misconception people have about you that couldn't be further from the truth?
I like
Ooh,
This is a good one.
that is a good question. Maybe that I'm mean. People think like you're muscular and when I train, I try to be as focused as possible.
Mhm.
And maybe I have a little bit of an RBS. Like, I'm kind of in my own little world. So if somebody from across the gym waves and I like don't even in my zone, right? Or like
Mhm.
if I'm not smiling, I'm not mad when I'm training. I'm not angry. I'm just like it's fun for me to get into the zone, to like go into training with more of like a serious mindset. Like that's fun for me. And so I think misconception would maybe be that I'm mean or angry when I train.
Just focus, though. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
most people will get
exactly.
it.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of common to like the average gym goer sees a woman who's clearly strong, clearly worked her way to build muscle tissue. Some people are just like intimidated and they're like, they kind of just, I don't know, she's scary or something.
yeah, yeah.
But just talk to us. We're not.
Right, right. Yeah. Like
Like,
maybe I'm in the zone, but if you were to be like, oh, hey, hi,
yeah.
oh, you know,
Yeah.
scary.
Okay, next one. What advice would you give women who rush PED decisions before mastering training and nutrition?
Oh, like I did. Just kidding, just kidding. Do as I say, not as I do. Um, when I first started, I like rushed it. I I want to go. I want to be, I wanted to be pro yesterday. um, yeah, like, gosh, I'm pretty sure I was taking Anavar before I even decided I was going to compete as a bodybuilder because I wanted to be huge. And I do not advise that. I don't. Because if you don't have the foundation blocks, you're building a house on sand. Like,
Hmm.
you have to have the foundation. You have to have the diet down, the training down, your sleep and recovery. Everything needs to be absolutely in check, and then the super subs are just like the sprinkle on top. They shouldn't
100%.
shouldn't be the base. And I actually, I'll say this: I have taken super subs when my nutrition has been all over the place, and I looked so crummy. I didn't look like I was on super subs. So here, let me just like, you know, damage my liver and kidneys for the heck of it and not even get the physique results. And like your training is not going to be on point either if your meal plan isn't in check.
Hmm.
Like the meal
Right.
plan and the training go hand in hand. That's why like meal timing matters and where you place your carbs in your day matters, how much protein you're eating, like all of that plays into your training. And if you're missing those key elements, you're just wasting your money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about this on another pod too, and I know you can totally relate to this, but when you think about, someone getting into the sport, it's going to be very hard for you to go very far if you don't enjoy the training, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, forget about the super subs. If you don't like training, I don't really know how you're going to win even at the local level, you know?
Yeah, no, it's because it's like even if you do drag yourself there, you're not pushing yourself to those limits
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
it takes to grow.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Or you'll have the mindset of like, oh, I'll just skip cardio today, or like, I don't need to do that last exercise. No one really likes the accessory work of, you know, reverse hyper. That's the one I hate. But I still do it. I still do it because my coach tells me to.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is one I haven't seen. Have you ever finished a show and immediately questioned if it was worth it?
No, never. That's like I compare bodybuilding to running a marathon sometimes. I think it's
Mhm.
more relatable for people. I think that people are more in touch with what running a marathon might be like than what completing a bodybuilding prep would be like. But it's that feeling of crossing the finish line. Like you feel that accomplishment, right? And like
Oh, yeah.
no matter what, whether you did terrible, it was the worst prep ever, and you placed awful, or you did amazing and you won, like you grew in some sense.
Right.
And as long as you're not totally ruining your health, I think the only thing that I would regret, um, that I don't think I've done is if you like are burning everything down around you because you're a prep monster.
Hmm.
Like ruining relationships. You're a jerk at your job. You're, you know, ruining your relationship with your significant other, not showing up in your relationship at all. And then, okay, cool, you made it to the stage.
Yeah.
Was that all worth it now? I think that's the only time I would say that's applicable.
Yep. Makes sense. Let's see. Do you think women's bodybuilding judging has become clearer or more confusing in the most recent years?
Hmm. Uh, Women's bodybuilding specifically, like just our division,
Yeah.
I think it's been clearer. I
Hmm.
think they're going for more of a feminine look. I think like one that you can look at where you're like, whoa, they chose that look over that look. Tampa, was it last year when Christina Nicole won and she beat Michaela, um, what is her last name? ACOG? Is that her last name?
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So like Michaela, hard as nails.
Hmm.
Tina, more of a feminine look.
Right.
Christina won. But like Andrea's the standard, you know? Andrea is the standard, and I think Ashley Jones is the future. So like you look at those two women, and they have like that bubbly, muscular look.
Hmm.
They don't necessarily have hard as nails.
Right.
I mean, they're super conditioned. Don't get me wrong, but they still keep that very bubbly, and then they also have a feminine look. They
Hmm.
maintain
Mhm.
their femininity in their posing, overall stage presence, their look. And I think like you can see that that's definitely the direction that judging has gone for women's
Mhm.
bodybuilding, which I like. I'm a fan.
Do you think Ashley can beat Andrea, or do you think it's going to be, something to where like a Lee Haney, where I'm going to retire before anyone actually beats me?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think Andrea will retire before Ashley beats her.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that it will happen at some point.
Hmm.
Ashley's just too good. She's too good.
You can't take your eyes off her.
No, she's. I mean, what do they call her? Mini Hercules.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
When
Her
she's on
physique is just
stage, she
unreal.
just like captures an audience.
Yes,
Mhm.
her posing is unreal, and like just her progression from
Hmm.
figure to women's physique to bodybuilding, and she's not done.
Hmm.
Right.
She's still fairly
Uh,
young.
yeah.
Yeah, she's young.
Uh-huh. So
That's
it's just
crazy.
the potential there is insane.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. What else we got? What does femininity mean to you as a bodybuilder, not society?
Ooh, that's a really good question. It's the way you carry yourself. It's I think femininity is how you carry yourself and honestly like how you feel. I feel feminine. Like
Mhm.
um to most people having big muscles isn't feminine, but I think that sculpting a physique with muscle is beautiful.
Hmm.
And so like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And to me that's feminine.
Yeah, it's someone
I
always
agree.
posts, some female always posts, some guy bashing, and it's just like those guys are so pathetic. Like, hey, so what if you wouldn't date so and so? Like, how can you not respect like the work? You look at something that's not really achievable easily, and it's like there there should be some level of respect. Like, they're doing really hard stuff here, you know?
Right. Yeah. Like maybe it's not for you.
Yeah.
That's okay. Maybe you're not for me. You know, like not
Well,
you're
yeah,
not gonna be
just
everybody's cup
like
of
for
tea.
us, for us, a beer guzzling, chip eating physique is not for me. I don't find that
Not gonna
attractive.
do it. Yeah, that's not gonna do it for
So
me. Yeah, I will
that's
say like
okay.
what gets me is um this happens a lot at work. I work in an older community.
Hmm.
I'm called he, him a lot, like on a daily basis. Um, and so like that after a while can start to get to me. But then I have to remind myself like I am not around anybody that knows a single thing about bodybuilding, and they see me walking down the hall and just like my back, right? Like that's what they're seeing. They're not, so I'm like, you
Yeah.
know what? That's fine. I'm instead of thinking like, you're calling me a man, I'm gonna take it as like, you think I'm really big, and that's cool. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, in a weird sense, it's almost just like a huge compliment because of like the back that you've built and the muscles you've built because it clearly wasn't easy, you know.
No, no. It took some effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? What else we got here? Oh, okay. I like this one. Do you believe most women quit bodybuilding too early, or do they stay too long in the sport?
Ooh, ooh. I don't know. I don't know that I have an answer to that one. Are we talking like IFBB Pro?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think that it's similar to men's open bodybuilding, right? Like it takes time to put tissue on like that.
Hmm.
You know, um, I mean, gosh, how old is John Sarita? Like
Sean's 43.
hello,
Yeah.
so it's I think maybe quitting too early or earlier than necessary, I guess. But then again, it comes down to like, how are you feeling? What's your heart posture in the sport? Like you might
Mhm.
reach a point where you're like, I don't feel the need to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. At that point, absolutely, it's time to be done. But like, look at the quality of masters athletes.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, it's
insane
It's
crazy.
getting
because you don't just start with that muscle mass. It takes
Yeah,
years of consistency. So like when you finally reach your stride, then you're stopping. you know?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It's funny too that you said that, like, I don't know, maybe something like 10, I would say closer to like 15 years ago, people thought of like jumping into the Masters was like easier. And it's like absolutely not.
No, no, it's
Like
crazy.
now you're going against guys that have trained for 20 some years, and it's just like it's also a different ball game, you know?
Maybe once
Yeah,
you get to like the 50s and 60s classes, you know,
right, right.
Mhm.
your body's not building muscle the way it once did.
Yeah.
But no, like with the return of the Masters Olympia, I think the 40 plus divisions are getting super competitive.
Absolutely. And I think like you see the late 30s, 40s competitors, they're grainy.
Hmm.
They have that density and they're grainy. Whereas like a baby competitor, it's gonna be harder for them to get that level of conditioning. They haven't dieted it down as many times. They don't have the same muscle density, and so you see some of these athletes, and they just have this gnarly look. And it's like that's not something that you just start with.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like when I did Atlanta this year, I mean, I wasn't mapping out. I wasn't even planning, we weren't even planning on prepping, so when we jumped in, it's like, oh, of course I picked the most competitive show. Where, like towards the end of the year and I get there and it's just like, oh, you guys are all like 40s and just like look like you're 30?
Yeah, like what happened here? It was
Yeah.
crazy. But hey, I think like man, to do a competitive show like that and be where you fall amongst the absolute best, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to go in against like no one, like,
Right, right.
or
Like
like
I
you were
said,
saying.
like there's these shows for female bodybuilders, which there's only is it 6 or 7 shows for us this year. I think New York got cut. Um, there were a few others, but yeah, it's like they're gonna start cutting shows if there's just 3 women on stage. That's not a
Yeah.
show.
Right, right.
At the pro level, I was super excited that the Steve Carr Classic, there were 10 of us.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like that was a really good turnout compared to what I thought it was going to be.
Hmm.
I knew there were going to be some competitors staying in prep from the Olympia, but I also thought like, oh, maybe, people will be tapped out by then. They'll be done for the season because female bodybuilders, like we're running the most here,
Hmm.
we're having to get pretty darn lean,
Hmm.
to maintain that for multiple shows or to do it where you're hitting multiple shows throughout the year, you have to be extremely strategic.
Hmm.
Right.
And keeping
Yeah,
up with the training intensity and while doing all of that, yeah, it's
yeah. I mean, like that's a huge thing. Is I'm like, all right, we're 5 weeks post show. All right, want to maintain a good look, but like, I think I'm getting smaller. Loose ends
yeah,
must be made. Yeah, so it's tricky to time it out, but better to have a show with more competitors,
Yeah,
have it
absolutely.
be an actual competition.
hmm,
Right. Okay, we got a few more. What is on the horizon for you then? Do you have a plan with Brandon for next year, or you kind of like, let's see where we're at?
So initially, he said 20 weeks of growing
Okay.
for sure. I need to bring my arms up. That's and I mean like that's been something that I have been working on for a year. We
Hmm.
knew my arms needed to come up last year. It just so happens that like other body parts came up as well. So like
Sure.
I don't think my arms grew at all. It's just like okay, but other body parts grew too. Yeah. So anyways, he wanted 20 weeks of an off season. My brother's getting married next year, and I want to be like present. I'm in the wedding.
Hmm.
I want to make sure that it's about them. Um, so I want to compete before that. And it just so happens that close to home, we've got Chicago. So I
Okay.
think that's 30 weeks away.
oh my God, yeah.
Um,
Man, that's
yeah.
quick. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yes, it
quick.
is. Exactly. So we're going to give it a shot. We're going to give
That's
Chicago
great.
a shot. I really want to. So actually, this Chicago Pro, this was going to be my pro debut
Hmm.
originally.
Okay.
But last year, Brandon was like, was it? No, not last year. I think it was this. When was it? May. I think it was May. He was like, Steve Carr Classic just got announced. We can do it. All
Okay.
right, let's go.
Yeah.
So that's why we chose Steve Carr Classic then. But
Hmm.
I was originally thinking this show because the Chicago Pro to be close to home.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Have you guys ever done Chicago Pro?
I had Lisa do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've been to it. I know, one of my good friends, Peter, he does it. He's done it for a couple years until
Hmm.
now they didn't have the 212 in it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a good show.
but
Yeah.
it would
Yeah.
be
I
great
went.
to do.
Yeah, for sure. I went to it to watch Anastasia last year,
Okay.
and there were so many people from Minnesota there. I'm like, how fun to do
Yeah,
a pro show and have like a good amount of Minnesota people.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
nice to have a little cheering section.
Right? Yeah, for sure. Know some people. So that's the game plan.
Awesome. Love it.
It's exciting.
Here's a good one. Okay, what is let's scratch like the DMs, the online stuff. What's the weirdest thing that's happened to you? It can be in the gym, it could be in the grocery store, from like an onlooker or even like a fan.
Okay. Uh, when we were in Pittsburgh, when I got my pro card, and
Hmm.
we were just like walking around trying to find a Starbucks or something, I had people that wanted to take pictures with me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like, will you flex with me? There was one time in Vegas. It was after the show in Vegas. We were out to eat, and this guy asked me if I would take a picture with him in a headlock.
Oh my
And I
God.
was like, you know what? Sure, why not?
Oh,
Oh my gosh. So I think that takes the cake.
I'd say that's a pretty good one.
Yeah. He was like, I just want to send it to my wife. It's gonna be hilarious. Like, sure thing. All right, cool.
Oh my God.
Okay, last question. Obviously, we don't know how far you're going to go in the sport, but in the sport, what would you want people to remember you by?
Oh, being a good person, for sure. Like being somebody that made competing really fun. Like I think about that a lot actually. Like going into a show weekend, I don't want to be backstage and be like, uh, you know, side eye your competition. Like I'm here to enjoy myself, to make friends, to have fun. So yeah, that's definitely I would want to be remembered for that.
Love it. Yeah, that's a great answer. Well, this is
And
great. It's always great catching up with you.
Yes.
yeah, good to talk to you guys.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll probably see you in the gym within the next before we leave
Yes, when are you moving?
next Friday.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No, no big deal. No rush or anything.
But if you're ever in Vegas, you know to hit us up.
Yes, absolutely. I am jealous. I will be
Yes.
hitting you up to train at all of those amazing gyms. Where are you guys? Do you know the gym? Do you know what gym you're gonna go to?
Yeah, we're gonna go to New Tech, and then at least one of us will have like two memberships. We might, we've been to them all, but we'll probably have another one just to kind of get our face out there.
For sure.
Yeah,
Oh, that's gonna be so fun. I'm excited for you guys.
thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been a great one. We will definitely catch you on the next one. Leave your comments. Let us know what you think. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.